Martin, welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we've got also with us Saffron Swansborough as well, who's in some chainmail. Now, Martin, describe Saffron's outfit for us today, would you?
Well, she's wearing a chainmail shirt, which has got about 15,000 rings in it. And each of the rings has got little ends flattened and little rivets put in. And it takes one man about 4 months to make a shirt. Now, if we dressed her with the chainmail shirt and the trousers, and she'd had a shield and a sword as well, she'd be weighing about 80 pounds, which is a hell of a lot of weight.
Yeah.
The problem she's got is the chainmail hugs your body. And so when you first put it on, it actually alters your natural breathing rhythm. And you have to actually think about your breathing for about the first 10, 15 minutes. And these guys would fight the whole day wearing this stuff. And if you look underneath, they've got a thick padded underjacket. And the reason for that is that the chainmail will stop the cutting action, but it won't actually stop the force of a blow. So they'd have to wear this thick padded underjacket, and they were fighting in the summer. And they used to regularly die heat stroke on the battlefield. So, you know, there he is, she's dressed with about 80 pounds worth of kit. Not very big, and I think...
There's the helmet as well.
And the helmet as well. And the helmet's called a pig-faced bassinet. And it's got a pointy bit on the nose, it looks like a pig snout. It's a very clever design because, like modern tank armour, which is all sloped, they worked this out that if you slope the armour, you can make it thinner and it's still as effective. So this is how they came up with these incredible designs. And to describe it, it's like a pointy nose with these eye slits. And when you close the eye slits down, you can't see anything. It's like looking out of a letterbox. In fact, sometimes when we dress people up and they stand still long enough, when we take the helmet off, we find there's some first-class mail being posted in there. So there we go. There she is, dressed for battle. And actually, this is what the would have been worn in the time of King John. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of the characters from that period. And we actually have our own real Robin Hood in this area. And his name was William Kersham. In the time of King John, with the Barons' revolt, the Barons asked the King of France to send an army over. And they occupied all this part of England, right up to London. And John asked William Kersham to go down and raise the Wealden archers. And he raised them, and they were so successful, they drove the French back out of England. And the French went home because they were so devastated by these archers. And we know about this because John wrote a letter of thanks to the men of Kent and Sussex for their kind of fine fighting. And that's our own real Robin Hood, not a myth, but a real figure. And he was based all round here. And all the Wealden archers would have been fighting all round here against the French.
So it's Hands on History, is that an East Sussex organisation?
No, we're a little limited company.
Right.
And what we do is we go to shows like this and schools and other events, and we let people actually try stuff on, like your assistant here, who's standing here with full chainmail on.
Can we see if she's still all right in there for a start?
Hold on.
And also...
Are you here? Oh, there you is. She can breathe now, you see.
What does it feel like, Saffron?
It feels as though you're underwater and something is pulling you down.
Yeah.
And it's an effort just to raise your arms, and it's extremely hot. But the main feeling is the absolute weight.
Yeah.
So I weigh about 9 stone, and I feel as if I'm carrying about an extra 9 stone. So it must be incredible to imagine how anyone would even be able to make a cup of tea in one of these things, never mind fight for their lives.
Now, of course, we're all about living history today and over the weekend. So how long did they stay in these things?
All day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't like the sound of that, by the way.
She's volunteered. She's volunteered to stay. They get up before dawn, and it would take about an hour to get dressed by their squire. Yeah. And then they'd have to wear their full kit apart from their helmet all day or until the end of the battle. And then, of course, they had to fight like this. And, of course, there was if you were fighting and you got too hot, you couldn't step out of the battle. Yeah. So what a lot of them would do is they'd die on the battlefield of the heat stroke. And, in fact, at the Battle of Agincourt, the king's brother was found dead on the battlefield without an injury to him, and he killed over with heat stroke and died.
Incredible. So where are you going to be based over the weekend?
We're just down at the bottom by the main battlefield. And what we've also got down there, we've got a Trebuchet and a Ballister, and we'll be shooting those during the 3 days on a regular basis. And the Trebuchet is a big counter-arm siege engine, and that we shoot a large water bomb, because for safety we're not allowed to shoot rocks. Not allowed to kill the audience nowadays. It's a bit unfair. Health and safety, there you go. And then the Ballister is like an enormous crossbow that uses taut, tight cables to fire, and we shoot a metre-long bolt. And we can, if we wind that up fully, get it over to over 800 yards. But of course here we're a little limited, and we'll only be shooting a couple of 100 yards with that.
Just a couple of 100 yards.
Just a couple of 100.
And you also encourage people to come over and get involved and try things like Saffron's doing that.
Exactly. This is what we're here for. We're they're going to see the reenactors doing their stuff. Well, this is a chance for the public to come along and actually try on the stuff. And we're there all day, and they can try on. We've got equipment for everyone from the age of about 3 to about the age of 80. We try and not older than 80 unless they're very keen, because it's a little heavy.
We'll try and find a can opener for you in a minute.
I have to say I can't see anything, so I thought the visor was already, you know, down, but actually the visor is up now.
Yeah.
All you can see is sort of like from your eye level downwards. So it just really gives you an idea of what it must be like, how challenging it must be to actually, you know, try and survive in one of these things.
It's incredible.
And the awful problem is, of course, is that when the bows got more powerful, the chainmail stopped being as effective. And what I've got here is a sample of some material called evosate, which is 5 times denser than human flesh.
Gotcha.
On the outside we've got chainmail and the padding.
Yeah.
And as you can see, but as I'll describe to the audience, what's happened is the arrow's gone straight through the chainmail and is sticking outside the other side. And these guys, it meant that they were no longer safe. So that's why they started to invent plate mail as a kind of way of getting extra protection. So there she is. She thinks she's going to battle completely safe, but she isn't, unfortunately. When the archers turn up tomorrow, they'll pepper her full of holes. Don't like people in chainmail,
After all that,
archers.
you're not safe.
No, I'm very, very anxious to hear this all of a sudden.
Martin, have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, sir.
This is Sussex Today. This is Madonna.